You can't cheat the work. Get that fucking trash out of your life. You have legacies to build. We grew that business from 3.4 million to 17.1. Horsepower, not horse shit. You want to be the parent that's an ally. They don't need another fucking friend. Not everybody's cup of whiskey. Toughest advice for the toughest businessmen. Be relentless. You can't cheat the work. One of my favorite Kobe Bryant speeches was back in 2016 at the ESPYs when the great Kobe, the black Mamba character that he talked about turning into when he played the game, when he won championships, the alter ego that he turned into, the black Mamba, was on full display in front of everybody that night at the awards. Even though he was dressed in a black tuxedo, even though it was a formal awards night, the black Mamba was on full display. And I watched that speech from time to time, and the words that ring true to me, Kobe talked about how all the athletes that were honored that night were super talented people. There was no question that they were super talented people. But the difference between the athletes that were on the stage that night accepting awards and all of the thousands of other professional athletes who were average, ordinary, even mediocre in some cases, with the same levels of talent, was the missing ingredient of work ethic. And Kobe talked about the reason that the greats were up there on stage and what makes the all-time greats, the Jordans, the Gretzkys, the Tom Bradys, the greats in business, in sport, in entertainment, is that connection between talent and extreme work ethic. It's the perfect storm for winning. It's literally the perfect storm for winning. When it comes to talent without work ethic, it's very common. It's very common. I have had locker rooms full of players with talent without work ethic. But when you have that rare situation where the person has special talent, special abilities in whatever it is, and they combine it with an extreme work ethic, that's where the magic happens. There is no way that you can cheat the work. And that's what Bryant talked about that night. He talked about the 4 a.m.s practicing. He talked about the time away from family. He talked about the hours and the days and the weeks and the months in the gym. He talked about all of it, the painful surgeries. He talked about, the 20,000 hours of shooting threes, just being completely obsessed with his craft, being completely obsessed with his art. And that's what separates, the 99% in anything from the 5% and then from the 1%. The Michael Jordans, the Henry Fords, the Andrew Carnegies, the Joe Rogans, the Wayne Gretzkys, the Tom Bradys, they all have obsession with their craft and with their art. And they never try to cheat the work. They don't look for shortcuts. They don't look for hacks. Sure, they want to have the most efficient way, the most productive way. They want to work smart. They do work smarter than everybody else. But they never look for magic buttons or magic pills. We have so many of our young people and young adults now looking for the next, the next fistful of magic beans. How can I do this quicker? How can I put less effort into this? How can I hack my way to this? And that's why I can't stand the word hack. It's just such a reflection of a mentality that says there's got to be an easy button. I prefer the mentality of anything worth doing is worth doing well, and any place worth going, there's no shortcut. There's no shortcut to any place worth going. And I also believe in what my mom and my dad preached to us as children, that work is the reward. The work is the reward. When we're all done with our tour of duty here on earth, I believe that we look back on our life and we'll say, you'll find pleasure and you'll find contentment in the journey. It was the journey. There really is no destination. The great David Goggins talks about how the guys that make it through Hell Week at the Navy SEALs are the guys that understand there really is no finish line. The guys that go through Hell Week and say, okay, there's 4 more days. Okay, there's 3 more days. There's 1 more day. There's 11 more hours. He said those are the guys that do not make it. They do not make it. They start to smile. They start to celebrate. They start to let up near the end. And he says the cleaners and the champions that actually dominate something as challenging as Hell Week, he says, are the guys who are like, they don't even want it to be over. They don't even want the pain and suffering to be over. They don't want the mental warfare to be over. It's the work that is the reward. It is the pain that is the reward. It's the obsession that is the reward. And I find that concept incredibly instructive, where, wow, there is no finish line, and the work, the extreme hard work is the reward. And really, there is no finish line where we say, wow, that was it, I'm happy now, or I'm content now, or I have peace of mind now. The secret is constant and never-ending improvement, obsession with your art and your craft, and never, ever, ever cheating the work. There's an interesting concept that Coach Nick Saban talks about that's linked to what the Black Mamba mentality is about never, ever cheating the work. And Coach Saban talks about the difference between choices and feelings. Choices and feelings. And I get a lot of this from my clients, my members, my brotherhood, is a lot of men struggle with the difference between choice and feelings. They get up in the morning and they don't want to put their shoes on, they don't want to put their rucking vest on, and they don't want to get out here in the darkness before everybody's up, and they don't want to put in the steps because they don't feel like it. They don't feel like walking. They don't feel like drinking water. They don't feel like getting out of bed and journaling for 5 minutes. They don't feel like putting on their shoes. They don't feel like sitting down and writing copy for half an hour. They don't feel like reading 10 pages of a book. They don't feel like doing, making sales calls. They don't feel like marketing their business. And the difference between 1%ers and the 99% is the 99% are ruled by their feelings. Every day is different, right? There's no consistency in their world because one day they feel like walking, 2 days they don't feel like walking, 1 day they feel like eating clean, 6 days they don't feel like eating clean. The odd day they feel like not drinking alcohol or not gambling, and then 6 or 7 days they feel like doing those things that are destructive to their world. So it's a very interesting concept between choices and feelings. When we make choices that are separate from how we feel, you add consistency to your life. In other words, you build badass habits. You build badass habits that over time make and construct your world. Every single day, badass habits by the consistency of making, mental choices. We're aware of the choice. Okay, I don't feel like putting on my shoes, but my goal is to put on my shoes. My shoes go on and I start walking, and I walk for 1 minute. And then I walk for 2 minutes, and then I walk for 10 minutes, and we're off to the races. So those tiny, minute goals where we don't negotiate with ourselves, where we don't tolerate not doing the important, next thing you know, you've walked half an hour. Next thing you know, you've walked 60 minutes. You made a choice. You weren't ruled by your feelings. You weren't a little high school teenager who was ruled by your feelings. You're an elite man who's ruled by decisions. You make decisions. You make choices each and every day. You sit down, you put your fingers on the laptop, you have a good environment, you sit down and you write about one thing. Maybe you write an email. Maybe you write an article for your newsletter. Maybe you write a blog post. Maybe you write, something that you're going to send to your clients. Maybe you write a couple pages of a sales letter. Whatever it is, your feelings are irrelevant. They're irrelevant. How you feel does not matter. You're making the decision, you're making the choice to sit down and write. And there's secrets to that, sitting down and taking a few deep breaths, visualizing yourself writing, visualizing yourself walking, visualizing yourself reading. And then the next thing, you set simple, tiny goals where, like I said about the walking, you set a goal to put your shoes on. That's it. Every day you set a goal. I don't care what's happening, I'm putting on my shoes. I'm putting on my shoes and my rucking vest. I had a guy in my Champions Mastermind, my elite Champions Mastermind. He said, Michael, I have a hard time walking consistently. I'll walk for a week, I'll take a week off, I'll walk for 2 weeks, I'll miss 5 days. I said, listen, brother, let me make this simple for you. Okay, 5 minutes equals 30 minutes. That's what the great Matt Fury teaches. 5 minutes equals 30. What the hell does 5 minutes equals 30? It means set tiny, minute, almost ridiculous goals where you get tiny victories throughout your day and you end up achieving everything you want. In other words, you make the decisions and choices, not your feelings, that move your world forward. So a great example that I gave him, I said, listen, instead of getting all wrapped up in I'm going to walk 5,000 steps or I'm going to walk 10,000 steps or I'm going to walk like Michael does, I said, set one goal. Every day, set the goal of putting on your shoes and your rucking vest. His 25-pound rucking vest like I'm wearing now. Best thing for your posture, for your neck, for your shoulders, for your knees, for your hips. It fights the gravitational pull of cell phones and working at a computer. It makes you stand tall, walk tall, straightens your spine, straightens your neck. It's made me feel 10 years younger, this 25-pound rucking vest. Every day I wear it walking. It makes it harder, makes it more difficult. That's what I want. This thing feels like a t-shirt now. I put it on, I don't even think about it. So I said to this man, I said, listen, brother, I said, set a goal of putting on your shoes and your rucking vest. That's it. Putting on your shoes and your rucking vest. That's it. That's your goal every day. And I said, if you do that, if you make those tiny, ridiculous goals happen, those targets, I said, you put on your shoes, you put on your rucking vest, you're already up. You brush your teeth, you splash some water in your face, you say some prayers, you drink some water, and now your goal. Put on my shoes, put on my rucking vest. Well, you know, dollars to donuts, if you put on your shoes and your rucking vest, the next thing you're gonna do is wanna go outside. Well, I don't feel like it, but I'm gonna go outside for a minute. Go outside, say to yourself, okay, I'm gonna walk for 1 minute. I can walk for 1 minute. I can put my shoes on. Don't bullshit me. You can put your shoes on and you can put your rucking vest on every day. Now you got those tiny victories, attaboy, pats on the back. You can walk for 1 minute. So he gets out there and he starts walking for 1 minute. Well, you get to 1 minute, you can walk for 2 minutes. Keep on going, another 2 minutes from the house. 3 minutes, okay, you can walk 5 minutes. You did it, 5 minutes. You put on your shoes, you put on your rucking vest, and you walk for 5 minutes. That was the goal. That was the ridiculous, tiny, tiny goal. Well, 5 minutes, what's happening? Okay, the endorphins are starting to go, the good dopamine's starting to go, you're starting to wake up, you're starting to feel good. If you left your cell phone at home, you're starting to get a mental rush, the ideas are starting to pop in your head, you're doing a brain dump, you're coming up with, you're thinking deeply, you're on a total natural high. So I want to walk for another 5 minutes, this is great. So you walk for another 5 minutes, and fresh air and the sunshine and the wind and the cold and the heat, and you just feel you're out there by yourself, and like this, nobody's up yet. You got the world to yourself. You're able to think deeply. It's your magic time. This is your deep work. This is your magic time walking. And your solitude, your time to speak with your creator, your time to listen to your golden gut and your intuition. This is your magic time. Well, you get to 10 minutes. Oh, I feel so great. I'm going to walk for 15. My hips are feeling better. My knees are feeling better. I'm actually feeling better than when I got out of bed. So you 15 minutes. Oh, I can do 20. So you walk for 20 minutes. Great job, man. I feel fantastic. Well, it's now time to head home. Got 20 minutes this way with my rucking vest on. Now it's going to take me 20 minutes to get home. So you turn and you head back to your house. Sun's coming up, you're breathing deeply, the ideas are rushing into your head, you're outside in the sunshine, the fresh air, you've been listening to your golden gut, your intuition, you feel like $1 million, and you walk 20 minutes back. Boom, you're in the driveway. You just walked 40 minutes. 5 minutes equals 40. 5 minutes equals 30, whatever you want to call it. That's the power of getting started. What stops most? What stops most? The start. If you can get yourself moving, if you can get yourself started, that's a large part of the battle. 90% Woody Allen, 90% of it is showing up. Showing up is putting on your shoes. Showing up is putting your fingers on the keyboard. Showing up is setting out the book the night before. Showing up is putting a date every Wednesday on the calendar, and that's the date night, and that's the 3 hours you're spending every week with your queen. It's really that simple. 5 minutes can equal 30 minutes. 5 minutes can equal 40 minutes. 5 minutes equals 60 minutes. Get started with ridiculously tiny mini goals. And that is such a major, major tip, a pro tip, because momentum is underrated. Once you have momentum, once you have your shoes on, once you put your fingers on the keyboard, once you crack that book and you're sitting in your chair enjoying a coffee in solitude, man, 5 minutes becomes 10. 10 becomes 15. 15 becomes 20, and man, it's not long to 20 minutes becomes 30, 40, even 50 or 60. That's how winning is done. That is exactly how winning is done. 5 equals 30, 5 equals 40, 5 equals 60, and that's how winners make it happen in their lives. And it's not, oh, my feelings, I don't feel like walking. I don't feel like writing. I don't feel like getting up. I don't feel like eating clean. I don't feel, and getting rid of that childish horse shit in your life. You're in control. Do you realize that? Mentally, you're in control. And you're going to build mental calluses every day when you use the 5 is 30 rule, when you use the 5 is 40 rule. You start to get the mental calluses and you build your mental toughness, where all of a sudden it's like, man, every day I'm getting a tiny bit stronger. Every day when I say do, we fucking well do. That's the mental calluses. It's not sitting around and lying in bed and pressing the snooze button and getting up and checking your dumb phone or any of that stuff. It's like, okay, here's the 2 or 3 things I got to do first thing in my magic time. I own the first hour of my day. I own the second hour of my day. I don't check my phone for the first 2 hours of the day, that kind of stuff. You have your water out, the whole thing. You're controlling the environment. Environment is for champions, willpower is for chumps. But at the end of the day, the mental calluses and the mental toughness to say, what I say, we do. What you say, you do. And that's 5 equals 30, 5 equals 45, 5 equals 60. Get the momentum and put momentum on your side. And that is one of the most important things to never cheating the work. Like Kobe said, there's no shortcuts to any place worth going. But if you're struggling with inspiration or motivation, if you're struggling with consistency, use Matt Fury's 5 equals 30, 5 equals 40, 5 equals 60. Just tiny, ridiculous momentum building goals. Put on your shoes, you just won. Put on your rucking vest, you just won. Put your fingers on the keyboard, you just have to write for 5 minutes. Okay, just read 2 pages of a book. Well, I read 2 pages. I might as well keep going. This is not as bad as I thought. Oh, 5 pages. Oh, I've read 5 pages. I might as well read another couple pages. Oh, that's 7 pages. Oh, well, I'm up early. I might as well read, at least 10 pages. And then you read 10 pages. That's how winning is done. That's how you never cheat the work. That's how you become obsessed with your craft. That's how you become obsessed with your art. And that's how you separate yourself from the 99% quiet desperation crowd. And like Coach Saban says, winners are not controlled by their feelings. Winners are controlled by choices and decisions. His athletes, you choose to go to class. You choose to pay attention. You choose to be mentally present. You choose to put your phone away. You choose. And then applying the 5 equals 30 concept. Man, you're away to the races. You are away to the races. The first hour of the day belongs to you. The second hour of the day belongs to you. Build it up to 3 hours eventually. But that first hour, those 1 or 2 things that you have to do, that hour belongs to you, and start with dead simple, ridiculous goals. I'm going to put on my shoes today. I'm gonna open up my laptop today. I'm gonna read 1 page today. I'm gonna leave my phone off for 10 minutes today. I'm gonna drink 1 glass of water today. That's it. And then once you get some momentum, it's like, well, I might as well do more. I might as well do this more. You got the endorphins working for you. You got the real dopamine working for you. You got momentum working for you, and you just go with it. Just go with it. That is a pro tip like no other. There's no shortcuts to go to anywhere worth going. And work is the reward. Work is the reward. And we're on a journey here, and the journey is the important part. Especially the middle. There's no finish line where we're like, oh, that was great. It's just one challenge to the next. One challenge to the next, always growing, always contributing, and always chasing that next personal championship. Serving more people, becoming a better version of yourself every single day. There is no finish line. And like the great David Goggins said, he said he runs every morning for a minimum 2 hours. That's a long time every day, 6 days a week. And he said, you know, truthfully, not 75% of the time, 75% of the time, I don't want to put on my shoes. But what's his goal? What's his goal? His goal is 5 equals 30, 5 equals 60, 5 equals 90, 5 equals 120. He says, some days, my goal is just to put my shoes on. That's my goal. That's my giving myself gold star. You put on your shoes, you get a gold star. You put on your rucking vest, give yourself a gold star. You drink a glass of water, give yourself a gold star. You read a page, give yourself a gold star. You write, you put your hands, open up the laptop, give yourself a gold star. And then once you've given yourself that attaboy, it's like, man, this feels tremendous. Let's go. Let's go. I can do more. I can do more. I've got momentum. And then go from there. That's how you do it. You're literally eating that daily elephant, one tiny, tiny, minute bite at a time. 5 equals 30, 5 equals 60. Apply that concept to your life. And the next thing you'll know, you'll be a decision-making machine. You will be a choice-making machine. And your feelings will become irrelevant. This is what I do no matter what. No matter if I'm happy, I'm sad, I'm sick, I'm healthy, I'm traveling, the weather's good, the weather's bad, I'm motivated, I'm demotivated. Your day is still consistently the same. People will not be able to tell really what your feelings are because you're going to have consistent performance. And isn't that a Tom Brady? Isn't that a Kobe Bryant? Isn't that an Andrew Carnegie? Isn't that anyone that's a top 1%er of 1%er? Is the consistency is there regardless of how they're feeling, regardless of what's happening in the world, regardless of the weather, regardless of all these outside distractions. They just get the work done. 5 minutes equals 30, 5 minutes equals 60. Set tiny, minute, ridiculous goals that'll get you started and watch where it takes you. That's it for today. You've got a couple days here to join in. I'm closing immigration to my May Michael McLean newsletter. If you want to join the Brotherhood and receive this month's newsletter in your mailbox, physical newsletter, $97 a month. This one is a jumbo edition. I talk a lot about what AI is really going to do for you, what AI, artificial intelligence, is not going to do for you, what you can expect over the next year, the next 5 years, the next 25 years. Have a lot of guys that are in that industry, and I know what it's going to mean for top 1%ers. I know what it's going to mean for top 5%ers, and I know what it's going to mean. It's going to be a death sentence for the 99%ers, but that doesn't mean it has to be for you. This can be one of the greatest opportunities in your lifetime if you approach it the right way. No different than technology, no different than the World Wide Web, no different than anything else that we've been blessed with. It will be your master or it will be your servant. It will be your master or it will be your servant. And in the May edition of the Michael McLean letter, I'm going to share some insider secrets on how you can make yourself irreplaceable. Whether you're an entrepreneur, business owner, or whether you work for somebody else, the secret is to make yourself irreplaceable. If you're a salesperson, a top salesperson, you're irreplaceable. If you're a top copywriter, email copywriter, you're irreplaceable. If you're an incredible speaker, motivational, inspirational speaker, teacher, you're irreplaceable. If you're an amazing manager of people, if you're a leader and manager of men and women, you're irreplaceable. If you're showing up as the best version of yourself every month, as a man, as an elite man, husband, father, grandfather, entrepreneur, you're irreplaceable. It's when it's going to be dark times for those people who are replaceable, who aren't committed to constant improvement, who aren't committed to showing up as the best version of themselves, it's going to be a bloodbath for the replaceable. You're going to be replaced. If you're not irreplaceable, you're going to be replaced. This is a message that your children need to hear, your teenagers, your adult children, that this is going to go one of two ways. This is separation season. We're going to be separating our society into two parts, the haves and the have-nots. That's what AI is going to do. It's going to separate this society into haves and have-nots. You're either irreplaceable or you're replaceable. You're either irreplaceable or replaceable. This is either the greatest thing that's ever happened in your life, the greatest technology blessing, or the worst thing that's ever happened. It's either a master or a servant for you. So like everything else, you'll make the decision. It'll be a choice. It's not about your feelings like anything else. It's about the choices you make and how you use it as a tool in your life and how you become irreplaceable. That's what I'm gonna clack about this month. In the May edition, go to michaelmcleanletter.coach, michaelmcleanletter.coach. The link is below, the link is in the email. Remember to pay it forward, men. I shoot these videos every day for free. All I ask is, I don't care if you buy my book or my newsletter. I don't really care if you subscribe or join my masterminds. It's not going to change my life at this point at all. But pay the tax. In other words, share these daily videos. Get people to join my email list at michaelmclean.coach. It's free. That's where you get my daily videos. michaelmclean.coach, and share these with, your adult children, your employees, your managers, friends, family that need to hear these uplifting messages, that need these mental kicks in the pants every day. Who in your life needs a mental kick in the pants every day? Who in your life needs to hear that this is the greatest time in history to be alive? Who in your life needs to hear daily that this is the greatest time in history? Who needs to hear that we are awash in abundance, wealth, and opportunity like never before in history? Who needs a mental kick in the pants every day? Make sure that you share these videos with these people. Make sure you subscribe to this channel if you're watching it on BoobTube. Make sure that you have them join my email list every day so they get these videos. They can join at michaelmclean.coach. They opt in and they get an email and a video every single day for free. I appreciate your likes. I appreciate your comments. I appreciate all of that stuff. So there's how you can pay the tax. There's how you can pay it forward. And there's how you can help us get this mental kick in the pants message out there to other men and women that need to hear every day that this is the greatest time in history to be alive. We are awash in money, in wealth, in opportunity, and abundance like never before. But we need the right mindset, we need the right thinking, we need the right behavior. Who else needs to hear this message? Make sure you share it with them. Pay the tax and pay it forward. That's it. michaelmcleanletter.coach. michaelmcleanletter.coach. You have 48 hours, and then I'll be slamming shut the doors of immigration. Unlike Creepy Joe, I do have an immigration policy. I do have borders. I do have a walled society. And when I close the doors and slam the borders shut, I enforce it. Nobody in until the next month. So you're going to be left standing on the sidelines if you haven't signed up for my newsletter. And it's one of the all-time jumbo greats. And it's going to help you make AI your friend. It's going to help you make AI, the best thing that's ever happened to you. While everybody else looks around and struggles and looks for magic beans and shortcuts and hacks, you're going to be using AI to make your life and your business better. michaelmcleanletter.coach. michaelmcleanletter.coach. That's it. 2 words that changed my life, 2 words that can change your life. Be relentless.